On to another political crisis. The French Parliament is preparing for a no-confidence vote that could oust Prime Minister Michel Barnier's government. The potential fall of his 3-month-old cabinet is likely to deepen France's political crisis. The country has been reeling from a polarizing snap election that left the parliament divided into 3 blocs, none of which have a majority. If successful, the no-confidence vote risks leaving France without a government or a budget as it enters the new year. Let's take this straight to Paris to correspondent Lisa Louis, who's in the French Parliament. Lisa, what can we expect to see in the coming hours?
Well, right now, as we are speaking, parliamentarians are making their arguments why they should vote against this budget and therefore against the government, and they're likely to bring it down a bit later today in 2 or 3 hours. Meanwhile, the world's media has come here, flocked here, not just French media, because we all know that this is a crucial moment in French politics. It will increase instability here. France will face, a situation without a 2025 budget, and it really will deepen the crisis here in France.
How exactly did we get here?
Well, what happened was basically that French President Emmanuel Macron called snap parliamentary elections earlier this year in the hope that because he did not have a majority with his party and its allies in parliament, that he could increase the number of seats, his number of seats in parliament. The opposite happened. It backfired. And now we have a hung parliament with 3 blocs, none of which has a clear majority. The President, Emmanuel Macron, then struggled to find a Prime Minister. It took him 2 months. Finally came up with the name of Michel Barnier, known to be a very good negotiator. He was also negotiating the Brexit negotiations of the EU. Turns out that he was not able to bring together the different sides of French politics so that he could get a majority vote to vote in favor of his budget. The different sides are making different arguments. The left is saying, you're cutting down too much, the poor will have to pay too much. The far right is saying, you shouldn't give that much money to immigrants. And so everybody is against his plan to bring down France's deficit, which is right now, this year, will stand at more than 6% of French GDP.
If Barnier now actually were forced to resign, what would that mean for France going forward, Lisa?
Well, first of all, France would have a caretaker government. We have heard from French President Emmanuel Macron that he would try to find a new prime minister within 24 hours because he knows that time is of the essence. This country needs a budget. If there is no 2025 budget, the 2024 budget will be replicated next year. But that's actually bad news for the country because this year's budget increased the country's deficit. France's, public debt already stands at, is higher than its GDP. And France really needs to make savings. It's already paying more money, higher interest rates on financial markets to refinance its debt. So in any case, French president will try to find a new prime minister who will try to come up with a suitable budget for next year. But what will stay is the political crisis and also possibly an economic crisis.
Lisa Louis in Paris following the political crisis there for us. Thank you so much for the latest.